Hello everybody, we are back with more Wham, more TEW 9, more local to global action, more 1930s professional wrestling. We are turning a corner as we have escaped the dark cloud that is awful morale, we've changed up our road agent, and we are headed for some serious prosperity. And we've got the next show booked, so that means we get to jump right into the Fortnite fisticuffs. We've got another packed match card with some exciting bouts and some competitive contests. But we've got some pre-show matches as well. Our first being Kuni Hashiguchi going one-on-one with Berbidia Abeta, and Kuni Hashiguchi does what she's been doing, great in-ring performances and picking up victories. And you will notice that I have finally gone through and adjusted some finishing moves for just about everybody on the roster. Some people kept what they had, other people got a rename, and some folks just changed it up entirely. So we see Kuni Hashiguchi come away victorious thanks to the Savate kick. Maybe Savate kick, I don't know. Somebody please tell me how to pronounce that. But in the next match, 6-man tag team action. We can't leave Morales, Gunter, and Ham off of the show entirely, so we had to get him some pre-show work. And we put him up against some fresh junior heavyweights, some fresh meat, and the heavyweights just go to work. They easily pick up a victory, and they turn in some really good in-ring performances while doing so. Maxwell Ham 49, Woodrow Gunter 47, Sebastian Morales 60, Kamari Flanders 28, Thunderberg 28, and Barden 28. All three of those guys getting a little bit better. Kamari Flanders usually is good for a little bit better in-ring performance than that, but overall match rating of 44, not bad for the pre-show by any means. Our final pre-show match has got Bronson Fraley and Neil Allman, who still have zero chemistry, but we are just rolling with it anyway as of right now, competing against the officially named tag team Diego Berrigan, Kitahachi Kakui, Barakui. And I like it, honestly, but unfortunately for Barakui, they come away unsuccessful in this match. They lose to the heavyweight champion and Bronson Fraley. However, they don't do it without putting up some good in-ring performances. 42 for Kakui and 39 for Berrigan. Berrigan matches Bronson Fraley's 39 and Neil Allman got a 47, but this is all just pre-show, so it don't matter too much. Getting off of the pre-show now, we've got Chuck Wellington as he takes some time to boast his newly won Oklahoma Openweight Championship in front of the crowd. Chuck Wellington is beaming with pride and very pleased with his handiwork to become champion. Just a small segment to get Chuck Wellington some time performing an angle, and you could see that he actually did well, took the script off, and he did a good job, was able to improvise, and he got a nice angle rating of 48, and some positive coming from Chuck Wellington. Look at that. Another angle, not as good as the first, but Matu Scarborough is in the ring, being interviewed by Riker Zucker. Scarborough calls out Rocco Lockwood as the reason for their tag team title loss at the last event. Scarborough even goes on to state that he is relieved that he no longer has to carry the team on his back. He challenges Rocco to come out to the ring and face him to prove who the problem on the team really was. So Matu Scarborough getting a little bit of character development here as he makes it very much known that he's blaming Rocco Lockwood for their loss of the tag team titles. He's now kind of just officially separating himself from Rocco Lockwood. They were able to get their feet in the door together, but now it seems that they're going to part ways, and they do so in a match. Rocco Lockwood only got an in-ring performance of 23, and Matu Scarborough, even though he was really off of his game, got an in-ring performance of 47, and maybe this discrepancy here shows you exactly why Matu Scarborough doesn't want to be teaming with Rocco Lockwood anymore. So, all in all, match rating of 41, not bad from these two, and Matu Scarborough, he is going to begin that ascent, I guess. In the singles sector, I'm looking forward to see how he develops. Up next, the match wasn't as good as the one prior, unfortunate, just a segment rating of 37 for these two, but Black Bull does come away with a nice victory over Joe Bryant. Black Bull with an in-ring performance of 49, that's great stuff. Joe Bryant down there at 22, his first 20, and he's no longer rusty, so we finally got him out of the rust. However, this doesn't give me a ton of confidence as far as his in-ring performance, but we'll see how it goes. Now, just a little bit of interesting development as the match was going on and ended. Bryant Hines begins to leave the ring area as the ref counted the pinfall. Bryant Hines was managing Black Bull in this instance. However, once that pinfall came, that decisive victory was being determined, I suppose, Bryant Hines began to make his leave. As Cody Tower announced Black Bull's victory, the large character stood in the ring, looking towards Bryant Hines. Although, Bryant Hines never looked back to acknowledge Black Bull. So Bryant Hines came out with Black Bull, only Bryant Hines, but he didn't really acknowledge his victory at all. He didn't acknowledge Black Bull after the match in any way, so just more uncertainty between the relationship of these guys. Segment rating of 44. Now we've got a nice tag team match as the tag team champions Friedrich Herzog and new signee Moses Lilia take on August Washburn and Brian Hatcher. This is the first time they put the titles on the line. August Washburn and Brian Hatcher have no business getting a title shot, but it's just the nature of the tag team champions. They're like, if we're going to face you, we're going to put the title on the line to prove our dominance. And not to mention, it would improve the match rating, and I had some pretty low-level workers taking part. So that's kind of my thought process there. But Moses Lilia, he was rusty, but he still gets an in-ring performance of 25. Friedrich Herzog does a great job with a 64. Brian Hatcher with a surprising 35. August Washburn with a 27. So we know that this new look Pride has great chemistry in the ring. Love to see that. And overall, good match and excellent performance from Friedrich Herzog. Match rating of 54. Another good match up next as Rahan Marlow defeating Blue Mage, one-on-one contest. And this is almost one of the highest rated matches that we've ever had here in the WHAM, and it's just Rahan Marlow and Blue Mage duking it out, going one-on-one. Not even a ton of stakes behind it, just exhibition singles action, and Rahan Marlow continues to show that he is incredibly difficult to defeat because he doesn't take many of them. Main event, Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line, 4-way matchup. All four of these guys have been intertwined with each other in some way or another ever since Raul LaBoy made his appearance into the WHAM. He has been a thorn in the side of Hermenegildo Ramirez. RT Lincoln and Joe Cartwright have both been persistent in getting title matches, and we come to head here as Hermenegildo Ramirez puts his title against all of them. And in fact, he came out on top with a successful performance. Great job from Hermenegildo. He had an in-ring performance of 63, Joe Cartwright had a 49, RT Lincoln had a 51, and Raul LaBoy still kind of lower than what we hoped for, 38, which isn't bad given his low popularity in the Mid-South, but we know he can do better. These guys put in an exciting match, plenty of drama, plenty of tension, plenty of uncertainty, and Hermenegildo Ramirez stands tall thanks to a Hurricane Rana, defeating Raul LaBoy. Match rating of 56 to end out our show. And that gives us a show rating of 53, increasing our popularity in all broadcasted regions. And after the show, we praise Joe Cartwright, Max Woham, and Kitahashi Kikui. Actually, I meant to praise Kuni Hashiguchi, but I screwed up there. Profiting $7,000, and we bump up from 18 and 19 in the Southwest. This is good results. So before we get into the next event, I did a thing. There is a new wrestling company in the world, in America, in the Mid-Atlantic region. We momentarily took control of a second player, and as Corey Sherman, we founded the Group of Opportunistic Fighters, Goof Wrestling. This basically is almost like an independent wrestling company that just employed basically every unemployed wrestler in America right now. Some big names. Lane Starr is not the biggest one. He has been in the WHAM before, but Albie Dewberry is a part of Goof Wrestling. Fritz Hattendorf, Frankie Ashby, Kamari Bryant as ref, Black Demon is back in action. So this is just a way to get the unemployed guys some work, keep the database in the universe overflowing and abundant with opportunities for work. Can't forget about Gabriela Suarez either. So we signed just about every unemployed worker that we could. We'll see what sticks with them. I goofed and I didn't set the product the way that I wanted to when I created the company, and I started a product change, but I think since I have already left this player character, I don't think that product change is going to stay, because I just didn't want to have to deal with a second company for 90 days or whatever. So anyway, this is just something to get more opportunities for some workers, young workers, veterans that haven't been around for a while, like Roger Stagg. He's got 12 years of experience, but he hasn't had a job for quite a while. Looks like 1931. So he's been unemployed for not too long. He's probably one of the shortest cases for a lot of these guys. So another entity has entered the world of professional wrestling, and I'm interested to see what happens with it. We will keep it afloat financially. I'm not going to let it go under, at least for probably 10 years if it does what I want it to do. But everyone, welcome Goof Wrestling to the world. And before we get into the event, we do have a creative idea for Hermenegildo Ramirez. We're going to deploy it. It was a success, and he does go from irritated to pleased. There we go. You can now see the list of people that we have that are happy is getting longer, and the list of people that are in negative morale states is getting shorter. So the morale thing is getting turned around. It's not done yet, but we have gotten out of the penalty stage, so to speak, the detrimental stage. And we can see that Goof Wrestling had their first event. Who remembers these days back when the Wham was beginning? We had Albie Dewberry as the star of the show. No surprise there. Big in-ring performance of 23 for the boy in the Mid-Atlantic region. But they've got, some pieces. Black Demon's there, Albie Dewberry. Super Shield's a good worker, but he's a terrible personality. So many bad personalities over there that they don't have to worry about. Randy Edson picking up a victory over Fritz Hattendorf and some other underwhelming matches. So they got some positive feedback though, given that they are so small. We started them with the setting that you could, I think 10 popularity in the Mid-Atlantic region, 0 prestige, so we'll see how they get along. However, we can't get too distracted with another company because we've got our own show to run, and we've got some pre-show matches to get through before we get to that show itself. Veronica Lutter back in action, going up against Layla Pascal. At this point, we know who Layla Pascal is. She is going to be a loss sponge. She doesn't have the juice when it comes to in-ring performances. Veronica Lutter, though, she does. She definitely does. And she picks up a nice victory with an in-ring performance of 49, carrying this match all the way up to a match rating of 35. Tag team action between Jeremy Funderburg, Jackson Barden, 2 young junior heavyweights teaming up to take on 2 veteran heavyweights, the team of Barakui, Diego Bergen, and Kitahachi Kukui. And the heavyweights pick up a victory. They've got excellent chemistry, so no surprise there. Kitahachi Kukui with a nice 42, Diego Bergen 38, and the junior heavyweights are doing a little bit better. Funderburg 27 and Barden at 29. Neither of them were off their game, which is a good sign, especially given that Funderburg has awful consistency. Getting into the match itself, we have Matu Scarborough carrying Marceliano Giago into a surprising match rating of 50. Really good work here. Matu Scarborough with an in-ring performance of 57. He continues to establish himself as more than just a tag team competitor. He's got some serious talent, some serious potential, and he picks up a victory here. Marceliano with an in-ring performance of 27, match rating of 50. And the former tag team champions are on 2 very different sides of the night right now. Matu Scarborough picking up a nice victory while Rocco Lockwood takes a tough defeat against Black Bull, a punishing match. Black Bull is a very aggressive and physical worker, and he gets a nice in-ring performance of 48. Rocco Lockwood just down there at 24, but he is getting a little bit better. Match rating of 39, not as good as the match prior. And this match rating is actually a little surprising given Chuck Wellington being a part of it, but we've got Oklahoma Openweight Champion going up against Woodrow Gunter, and Woodrow Gunter would win this match handily. And you notice that there is no title change or anything like that. We are in Colorado Springs, Colorado, so that means the Oklahoma Openweight Championship cannot be on the line. Despite picking up a nice victory, Woodrow Gunter does not walk away with any championship gold, but he does walk away with an in-ring performance of 49 and a victory over the champion. Chuck Wellington got a 34, we got a match rating of 42. And after the match, we just get a segment kind of reiterating what I just said. Despite taking an embarrassing loss, Chuck Wellington is quick to point out that the Oklahoma Openweight Championship cannot be defended outside the state lines. Given the fact the show is being held in Colorado tonight, Woodrow Gunter does not win the championship. Segment rating of 31 as the Wellington boys just scurry away with their tail between their legs. And up next, we get a much better match. Match rating of 56 thanks to Friedrich Herzog looking good. Despite being off his game, he did get an in-ring performance of 55. Brian Hatcher with another solid performance at 35. He might just earn himself some more work. And Moses Lilia, of course, the manager to Friedrich Herzog. He's got really good performance stats. I realized I never actually showed his stats or anything when we picked him up, so we'll do that after this show. But we get a match rating of 56 as Friedrich Herzog just continues to cement his dominance. Up next, we've got junior heavyweight champion Hermenegildo Ramirez as he's ringside to spectate the next match. He's interviewed by Riker Zucker before the participants made their entrance. asking about the upcoming Glory Gauntlet that will see Hermenegildo put his title up against 9 other junior heavyweights. The champion balks at the question, stating that the disadvantage to the champion placed here is heinous, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one match, a 4-way dance, or if he has to defeat 9 other competitors in a single match. Hermenegildo will prove that he is the class of the junior heavyweights once again. Got a segment rating of 41. Hermenegildo Ramirez getting some better performances on the mic, and in these opportunities, you love to see the boy grow his star. And that match that he is spectating is a 6-man tag team match between 6 of the participants that will be facing off in the Glory Gauntlet. And we've got Raw LaBoy, Kamari Flanders, and Joel Cartwright on Team 1 facing RT Lincoln, Super Monkey, and Wayne Blankenship. And we would actually see RT Lincoln, Super Monkey, and Wayne Blankenship pick up that victory as RT Lincoln pinned Kamari Flanders. Pretty decent performances all around. I knew Wayne Blankenship was probably going to be the lowest of them all, and that's a good thing for Kamari Flanders in this case. Joel Cartwright at a 47, Kamari Flanders at a 32, Raw LaBoy at a 42, the first time he breaks a 40, we love to see it. Wayne Blankenship 28, Super Monkey 44, and RT Lincoln 54. Nice work there. All in all, we get a match rating of 48. Good work here by the junior heavyweights. But our main event really does a good job here. We still have not touched the chemistry for the Wham OGs, but they're still putting up some good performances. We had Sebastian Morales, Rahan Marlowe defeating Neil Allman and Bronson Fraley in tag team action, as Rahan Marlowe was able to hit Bronson Fraley with the Razor's Edge to pick up the 1-2-3. 2 very formidable heavyweights squaring up with 2 more very formidable heavyweights. Our main event guys came in and they delivered. And Bronson Fraley, Neil Allman, we know they could have done better, but we also know that they had that chemistry penalty working against them. But Sebastian Morales with an in-ring performance of 67, Rahan Marlowe 63, Bronson Fraley 40, and Neil Allman at 50. We get a match rating of 60, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we break 60 for a match, making it the best match in Wham history right now. Overall show rating of 57, really good work here. Everybody just came in and delivered, honestly. Awesome main event. Friedrich Herzog showed out a little bit, and Chuck Wellington overperformed, I will say that. Matu Scarborough's looking good as well. We got some things cooking for us, boys. And so after the show, we praise Chuck Wellington, Kenny Lyles, and Joel Cartwright, profiting $8,000 and moving up from 43 to 44 in the Mid-South. In more wrestling news, we see Gabriela Suarez getting a contract offer from CSW. I can't see why she would not accept it. It seems that CSW actually had some gals leave the company, so that explains why they'd bring Gabriela Suarez on, but I don't understand why they wouldn't just do that sooner, to be totally honest. So we will see Gabriela Suarez get more work. She still doesn't want to come back to the Wham. I'm sure she will eventually, but not right now. And I said I would come and check this guy out. I technically said that in the last episode, I think, but I never did it. Moses Lilia, he's a big man, 6'6", 300 pounds. Like I said, really fits that frame of Friedrich Herzog, and he's got some really good foundational stats. I think he's still going to improve a little bit. He is 29 years old, but that Puro Rezo rating 72, 66 technical, that's going to get better eventually. Eventually probably going over 70. Phenomenal performance stats, 87 charisma and microphone, 78 acting, and while he may not be a earth scorcher in the singles division, while he's got Friedrich Herzog with him, I think he's going to do some good things for a new face. Probably better than anything anybody else on the Pride has done. I mean, I guess you could already say that, considering he's won the tag team championships along with Friedrich Herzog. So big stuff going on here. Big signing, I think, for Moses Lilia. We finally found a big body that can actually be serviceable in the ring, and he's got a stalwart personality, meaning if he's happy, he's going to provide a positive influence, and he's also going to be much harder to influence by negative morale issues. Looking over at the top 100s, I was incorrect. Rahan Marlowe and Neil Allman got a 61 at the Spectacle of Amazing Grapples in 1931, so that is still the best match in the history of the Wham. However, that match that we just had, Sebastian Morales, Rahan Marlowe defeating the Wham OGs, that is number 2. It could have been number 1 if we didn't have that zero chemistry, but we played by the rules and we didn't change it. We've got a safe bet character idea. We're going to give it to Maxwell Ham. He's currently irritated. It was a success, and he's gone from irritated to pleased. His momentum dipped a little bit. That is another negative morale that has been rectified for the moment. You can see the pre-show training environment was what was bringing him down, but we haven't seen that since July. So maybe Sebastian Morales has just gotten experienced enough to prevent that from happening. He does have 43 experience. Not sure, but Jay Lutter is my other option as the head men's trainer, who's got significantly better experience, and he doesn't have any kind of penalty that says he might struggle with the role. But if we do that, then of course Sebastian Morales is not going to be very happy about it. Something to think about. I have not made that decision quite yet. However, we'll see where it goes. It's come to my attention that our deal with KCDY is in its final 30 days, so we're going to extend our deal. I like what we've been doing. They want us to pay to get into the late night slot, and I'm not going to do that. So we will just stay in the graveyard slot. We don't have to pay anything, and they're not willing to do that. Let's see. Okay, yep, we're just gonna stick with the original terms that we had. Everybody's happy, and we'll continue to roll with KCDY. It is time, everyone, for another big event of the year, the Glory Gauntlet 1932, the third edition of this yearly occurrence. The Glory Gauntlet, kind of the Wham's Royal Rumble, if you will. We've got a big gauntlet match to end the night with some junior heavyweights, the Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line. Of course, we've got a heavyweight championship match tonight amongst some other big matches, so make sure you stick through it. But we got some pre-show matches to get through. First things first, tag team action, Barakui defeating Joe Bryant and Rocco Lockwood. Kita Hachigakui with a 42, Diego Bergen 41, Rocco Lockwood 27, and Joe Bryant 23. However, they do not work well as a team. Their timing's all over the place, and it's easy to see when you got the excellent chemistry of Barakui going across from you. And this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that we're in front of 1,000 people here in Norman, Oklahoma. Great stuff. Another pre-show match, Bronson Fraley, Brian Hatcher. Bronson Fraley, of course, is a part of the card, but he doesn't have a match for himself. So we've just got him in pre-show action, keeping him warm. And Brian Hatcher not doing a bad job. Hatcher with a 34, Bronson Fraley with a 53, segment rating of 45 for the pre-show match. Now, as we get into our actual show, we've got Sebastian Morales in the ring, welcoming everyone. Sebastian states that he is frustrated with being excluded from the card tonight, citing his love for competition and performing for the crowd. Morales reminds everyone of his status as champion in Viva La Lucha, but states he wants to be here in the Wham, competing, not watching. Morales would then go on to acknowledge while there is no room on the card tonight, he is placing an open challenge to anyone at any event. So just a real babyface promo here from Sebastian Morales. We weren't going to leave him off the card, but I wasn't just going to throw him in a random match in this time. I've done it before. I've done it plenty of times before, but I wasn't going to do it this time. So just setting the stage as he begins an open challenge kind of thing. So we get a segment rating of 48, and we're ready to get into the night. And first match is a great match. Maxwell Ham, Matu Scarborough, and Turner Spittler in a very physical triple threat match. Maxwell Ham would be the one to come out on top after he pinned Turner Spittler, hitting the Dominator to collect the victory. Matu Scarborough looking excellent in this match with an in-ring performance of 62, even though he didn't come away victorious. Maxwell Ham with a 56, and Turner Spittler with a 59. Really good stuff here from some budding heavyweights. Maxwell Ham and Matu Scarborough, very young, very bright futures, and Turner Spittler just reinforcing the fact that he is in that upper echelon in our main event scene. Segment rating of 51. Up next, we've got the ladies in tag team action as Veronica Lutter and Kuni Hashiguchi once again team up to take on the team of Ivy Baldridge and Barbudia Abeta. We knew Veronica Lutter and Kuni Hashiguchi were going to show out, but I was not expecting Barbudia Abeta to hit a 43 already this early. We did inspire the locker room beforehand, so that's definitely boosting everybody, but Barbudia Abeta with a 43, probably the shock of the night so far. Ivy Baldridge got a 32, Lutter with a 54, and Hashiguchi with a 56. So Kuni and Veronica pick up the victory. They are the two top dogs in the women's division, that's for sure. Match rating of 47. And we get a segment afterwards where Kuni Hashiguchi and Veronica Lutter share an intense exchange after the match, well aware that they may be looking at the most formidable opposition to themselves here in the Wham, that being looking at one another. The ladies shake hands, though the nature is visibly competitive. A really rough, intense, charged handshake, I suppose. Just drawing a line underneath, reinforcing the fact that these two are the ones to watch out as this women's division is about to get going. Up next, we've got Duke Wellington and Woodrow Gunter competing in a one-on-one match in what is, I hope, the worst match of the night, as we've got Duke Wellington taking the loss to Woodrow Gunter in 7.5 minutes. Woodrow Gunter just competed against Chuck Wellington at the last event, was not competing for Chuck Wellington's open-weight championship. He doesn't get a crack at Chuck because he's got his hands full with Duke here in one-on-one action. Segment rating of 38, and not much to this match other than Woodrow Gunter BTA on that one. I was unfortunately wrong, as the last match was not the worst match of the night. This is the worst match of the night, as Chuck Wellington is defending his openweight championship, although it's kind of a hokey, bogus championship defense, as Marceliano Giago is not a good competitor. He hasn't done anything. I don't even think he's won a match since he's been in the WHAM, but Chuck Wellington awarding him the shot at the openweight championship because he's, just padding his stats, basically. He knows he's got a victory in the bag. He's got his brothers helping him out, and he comes away with the victory, a successful title defense, his first successful title defense, with an in-ring performance of 34, Marceliano with a 25. I think he gets a 25 like every time. But match rating at 33 as we're ready to move on, and it's starting to ramp back up now. Black Bull handicap match against his Dark Carnival brethren, Blue Mage and Craig Bean. This was an emotional one, a personal one, and Black Bull knew that he didn't really want to fight these guys, but he wasn't going to back down. If he backed down, that was only going to hurt him more. It was only going to make things worse with he and Brian Hines. Blue Mage and Craig Bean don't necessarily hate Black Bull, but they're going to listen to Brian Hines in the same exact fashion. But we get some good performances. Black Bull at a 50, Craig Bean 43, and Blue Mage at a 49. Altogether, this handicap match gets us a 48, and we would in fact see Black Bull overcome the odds and defeat the 1-2 situation, coming out on top. However, there is a standstill between the Dark Carnival and the ring. Black Bull surrounded by Blue Mage, Craig Bean, and Bryant Hines. Bull is looking for resolution with his group, and Hines seems to be accepting Black Bull. However, the Dark Carnival would begin an assault on Black Bull. This had a much different feel to it the first time this happened, with malintent palpable throughout the arena. And Black Bull did try to defend himself this time, but was overwhelmed by the surprise attack from his comrades. The Dark Carnival was unrelenting, beating Black Bull down until he was no longer resisting, eventually carrying his motionless body to the back, just like what they had done with Black Demon. Is this the final appearance of Black Bull in the WHAM? We have been trying to clean up the backstage morale a little bit, and Black Bull does have a prickly personality, so another tough decision may have been made. Segment rating of 29 here. Moving on into the heavyweight championship match, Neil Allman, Rahan Marlowe. Rahan Marlowe has been unstoppable in his pursuit to regain the heavyweight championship. However, Neil Allman is that man, and he does in fact defeat Rahan Marlowe, thanks to the persistent help and chicanery from Bronson Fraley. So Neil Allman doesn't do it alone, but he does do it. He defeats Rahan Marlowe to retain the WHAM Heavyweight Championship. He gets an in-ring performance of 66 while he did it, Rahan Marlowe at a 56, and we get a match rating of 58 for this heavyweight championship match. Now moving into the Junior Heavyweight Championship match, the Glory Gauntlet match, the 10-man gauntlet. And I can't hide it from you, we do see RT Lincoln coming out on top and winning the WHAM Junior Heavyweight Championship. Amazing stuff. Match rating of 61, tying the greatest match in WHAM history. And I don't know if I've ever clarified it in the future or if I said otherwise, but the format of this gauntlet match, it is pinfall to defeat. The ring does fill up with multiple guys at once. It's not one at a time in succession. Hermenegildo Ramirez does start off at number 1, just like every WHAM Junior Heavyweight Champion has before him, and he makes it all the way to the end. Jackson Barden would be the first eliminated, Jeremy Funderburk, Wayne Blankenship, Kamari Flanders, and then it starts to heat up. Joe Cartwright, Super Monkey, Raul LaBoy. However, at this point, Archie Filer has made his return back to the WHAM and is back in the ring. He is in this match. Archie Filer is the one to put down Hermenegildo Ramirez, guaranteeing a new junior heavyweight champion. As you might imagine, does not sit well with Hermenegildo Ramirez, who has really blossomed into a more cocky character, more arrogant. He knows what he does, in the ring in terms of in-ring performances and everything, and he knows the discrepancy from he and everybody else. So he was in disbelief when Archie Filer eliminated him. In so much disbelief, in fact, that he came back into the ring and beat down Archie Filer. RT Lincoln, he's not the most heelish guy, but here in the dirty 1930s, you gotta do what you gotta do to pick up victories. And if someone lays up a beaten opponent on a platter, you're gonna take advantage. And RT Lincoln wasn't necessarily involved in these kind of shenanigans directly, but he definitely took advantage and secured the final pinfall to win the Junior Heavyweight Championship, for the very first time in his career, in his big redemption return back in the Wham. So we do get to see the in-ring performances of everybody. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I thought you could anyway. Maybe you have to look at it after the fact. I'm not sure, but I thought you could see the in-ring performances of everybody, but we don't get that. We wanted them to steal the show, and many guys tried, but some guys still got penalized for various things. But all in all, let's not distract. RT Lincoln, new Junior Heavyweight Champion. Fantastic match rating, matching the best in Wham history. And that's going to give us another show rating of 57, which does us plenty of favors, increasing our popularity in 3 regions. Maybe not the Mid-South, I guess. I think we've probably hit our popularity cap. But top down, really strong matches, to the exception of the matches with the Wellington boys. Marceliano Giago, he was a very critical and much needed part to fix this morale, but I don't know if we're going to need him much longer now that our morale is in a much better spot, and we're going to bring in some women with positive morales as well, so he may be seeing his last days here in the Wham. And we praise Super Monkey, Ivy Baldridge, and Chuck Wellington after the show, profiting $7,439, big night, $12,000 in ticket sales thanks to our record attendance, and we do gain tangible increases in the Midwest, Southeast, and Southwest, 24 in the Midwest, 19 Southeast, and 20 in the Southwest. No change for the Mid-South though, but this is, like I said, I think we have reached our cap for that in the month. Excellent feedback on the show from the headlines, and RT Lincoln is the new Wham Junior Heavyweight Champion, a surprising end to the reign of Hermenegildo Ramirez, only 172 days. Looks like the 3rd shortest reign of all the Junior Heavyweight Championship reigns that we've seen. He did defend it 4 times, and it's not to say that he's never going to be champ again, that's for sure. Chuck Wellington making his first defense as the Oklahoma Openweight Champion. We did not have the Tag Team Champions on the show, but Neil Allman did successfully defend the Wham Heavyweight Championship in a banger, as he always delivers well with Rahan Marlowe. That's an undeniable fact. If you look at our top matches ever, to the exception of our newly top match with RT Lincoln at the top, it's got Rahan Marlowe, Neil Allman, Rahan Marlowe, Neil Allman, Rahan Marlowe, Neil Allman, Rahan Marlowe, Friedrich, Rahan Marlowe, Friedrich, Neil Allman, Rahan Marlowe. You see what I'm saying? There's a formula, and there's a reason these guys face off, because they turn in excellent performances. However, I will say this will be the concluding chapter to Rahan Marlowe and Neil Allman for the time being. And I knew you could access it. We do get to see the in-ring performances from that Glory Gauntlet match. Let's check it out. Archie Filer back in excellent shape and form with a 64. Hermenegildo Ramirez with a 63. Jackson Barden 27. Jeremy Funderburk 24. Joel Cartwright with a 60. Kamari Flanders with a 30. Rollo Boy with a 53. New Junior Heavyweight Champion RT Lincoln with a 55. Super Monkey 48. And a Wayne Blankenship down at 27. So that's what? 3 guys in the 60s and a 4th in the 50s? That's some good stuff. I like what I see there. However, I have in fact made the decision that we are going to let Marceliano walk. We're going to give him one more contract appearance. We are paying for his travel. He never moved over, and he doesn't justify being 10 times more expensive than anybody else just because we want a decent effect on our morale. And given his state of morale, he's actually not even contributing positively right now. So we're going to give him one more contract appearance, and then I assume that we will say goodbye to him at that point. He did accept the contract terms, so he'll make one more appearance and then he'll make his leave. And Emilio Suarez left his tour with TWA. We don't care about that. And we've got Goof Wrestling all over the headlines, so let's check out how their second show went. Albie Dewberry defeating Lane Starr for the Goof Intercontinental title. Dewberry with an in-ring performance of 24. Randy Edson defeating Super Shield. He's 2-0 in the goof right now. He is a supreme goof. We even have Frankie Ashby, Fritz Hattendorf back in in-ring competition. Black Demon getting victories. Gabriela Suarez looking good over in Goof Wrestling. So it'll be fun to see just what goes on in this company. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also looking forward to getting these unemployed people chances to keep working. However, that's going to do it for us in this episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We covered a lot. We made a lot happen in this, but there's going to be even more development and evolvement here in the WHAM. So make sure you stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take it easy.